I welcome you on behalf of the National Democratic Congress to this crucial moment of truth press conference. We've called you here over a very grave matter that has the potential to completely undermine the administration of justice in our dear country, Ghana. As you may be aware, since late 2021, the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia government has been persecuting the minority leader in Parliament, Honorable Dr. Kisel Atuforsin, over the purchase of some ambulances by the Ministry of Health under the erstwhile NDC Mahama government. As a law-abiding political party, we have restrained ourselves from commenting on this matter publicly. This is because we respect the principle that matters pending in court should not be commented on in a manner that the outcome. We therefore have no intention of doing so today. However, in the light of repeated falsehood, deliberate misrepresentation, and distortions churned out by the Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame and the MPP propagandists, we are compelled to correct certain misconceptions in the public domain about the said ambulances transaction and situate this discussion in its proper context. This is to any matters pending before the courts in this case. Every reasonable person would agree that it will be irresponsible of us to sit aloof and allow deliberate falsehood to be peddled about us without putting out the truth. For the avoidance of doubt, the specific claim that the Attorney General has based his persecution of the minority leader on is that, in the Attorney General's view, there has been financial to the state because he, as Deputy Minister of Finance, wrote letters to the Bank of Ghana requesting the bank to set up letters of credit trading company of Dubai, suppliers of the ambulance question, without authorization from his then boss and finance minister, Honorable Setekwe. This is publicly available information captured in a record of the High Court, Accra. So this one has been said, though I'm only repeating it. It is also a matter of public record that Honorable Setekwe has appeared before the trial court and stated unequivocally under oath that he gave express authorization to his Deputy Minister of Finance, Honorable Atum, to write the said letters to the Bank of Ghana for letters of credit to be established in respect of the ambulances transaction. You say he did it without authorization. The man who should give the authorization has come and say, yes, I authorize him to go and do it. Palava no finish. This authorization is evidenced by the seal of the Ministry of Finance. In case Setekwe was lying, there's a seal of the Ministry of Finance. It's apparent on the face of the letter written by Honorable Atuforsin. It is instructive to note that the establishment of the letters of credit was done on the advice of the Attorney General then. That failure to do so was going to make it difficult for the government of Ghana to defend any suit brought by Big C Trading for breach of contract. Godfrey Dame and hordes of MPP propagandists also continue to falsely claim that the NDC government brought in ordinary vans, maybe in our language, trotros, purporting to be ambulances without medical equipment under the said transaction. We want to state emphatically that the first set of 30 ambulances supplied under the transaction arrived in the country with the necessary fittings in them sometime in the year 2015. So at this stage, on the screen are pictures of the exterior and interior of the ambulances as they arrived in the country. The empty throttle. These are the interior pictures of the empty throttles. It is clear from these pictures that the ambulances that were procured were not empty vans as claimed by dishonest Godfrey Dame and the MPP. I'm always ashamed because this is my brother from the same Wenchi district. In addition, a container load of medical equipment to be installed in these ambulances were shipped by Big C and arrived in the country around the end of 2016. Sadly, this medical equipment have been sitting at the Tema port for the last 8 years because this government, specifically the Minister of Health, which is the consignee, has refused to clear them, just so they can falsely claim that there were no equipment. Because you want to prosecute somebody and jail him. Once again, we have projected on the screen a copy of the bill of lading dated 8th October 2016. There it is, covering this shipment. As can be seen, this container has 30 sets of medical equipment and defibrillators for installation, as well as spare parts for the 30 ambulances. Dr. Manibama, is that defibrillators or is that the correct pronunciation? Okay. You've seen the bill of lading. The bill of lading. When you ship, they prepare these documents and then send it to the consignee. So public money used to procure all these things have been sent to the Minister of Health. He has refused to clear them, just so that they can prove that there was no equipment. All that was required for this government to do was to clear the medical equipment from the ports and give engineers of Big C access to the ambulances which have been parked at the Air Force Base in Accra to install them, train personnel of the Ghana Ambulance Service to use them, and then formally take possession of the said ambulances. It therefore makes no sense that after refusing to do this simple task and allowing the ambulances to deteriorate for 8 years, my brother Godfrey Dame will turn around to persecute Honorable Atuforsen for allegedly causing financial loss to the state when the loss has been clearly occasioned by the deliberate negligence of the government he represents. We firmly believe that the decision to take the minority leader and some others to court over this matter was born out of malicious, sinister, and wicked desire to silence him through unjust imprisonment, nothing more, nothing less. As we publicly stated from the very onset of this case, the timing and circumstances of this so-called prosecution show that it was instituted mainly to intimidate and silence the then ranking member of finance, now minority leader, soon to become majority leader, following his vehement opposition to the government's 2022 budget, the e-levy, and the general economic mismanagement by the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government. This is the very embodiment of political witch hunt and persecution. But you see, he was a minority spokesperson on finance, and he was doing well. So as they were persecuting him, we kept promoting him because we thought he was doing very well for this country. Having set out the factual background of this whole matter, I will now proceed to address certain grave matters that have emerged from the ongoing trial, which border on professional misconduct and crime on the part of the Attorney General, Godfrey Dame. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, last Thursday, 23rd March 2024, the third accused person in this case, Richard Jakpa, took the stand to be cross-examined by counsel for Dr. Atuforsen. During this cross-examination, Attorney General Godfrey Odame shot up from his seat to accuse Mr. Richard Jakpa of defending Atuforsen rather than himself. In response to the Attorney General's accusation, Mr. Jakpa, who was testifying under oath and felt attacked without provocation, dropped a bombshell that Godfrey Odame, the Attorney General, has been having clandestine meetings and telephone conversations with him at odd hours to persuade him to falsely testify against the minority leader, Dr. Atuforsen, so that the prosecution can secure a conviction. So, Minister of Justice, you are not interested in justice, you are interested in just jailing somebody. You are supposed to be the person who will be delivering justice to your countrymen. You have now become the torchbearer of injustice because of political interest. This testimony by Mr. Jakpa was given to the court under oath and captured by the court's record. At last Thursday's hearing, The Attorney General, who was personally present, Philly, in the court, could not object to this damning evidence of Mr. Japa. He did not deny calling and meeting Japa at odd hours. Neither did he deny Japa's claim that he had been impressing on him to skew his testimony in a matter that will allow the state to secure a conviction against the minority leader. You have been accused of something and you are sitting there. You decide that the way to respond is through a press statement where you could have defended yourself there. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, in the period following these startling revelations, the NDC has obtained compelling evidence which support Mr. Japa's claim that the Attorney General indeed has engaged him on countless occasions and urged him to falsify, underline, his testimony to aid the case of Attorney General against Dr. Kesel Atufosun. This evidence points to a devious, diabolic, and dangerous plan by the Attorney General to secure conviction against Minority Leader Dr. Atufosun at all costs, contrary to what the third accused knows and believes to be the truth. We have in our possession a series of recordings in which the Attorney General, Godfrey Dame, is clearly heard goading, urging, impressing upon, and actually coaching Mr. Japa to bear false testimony against the minority leader, Dr. Atufosun. All of this desperate subordination by Mr. Dame is just because he is hell-bent on securing the incarceration of the minority leader unjustly. Ladies and gentlemen, the first of these recordings is a 16-minute, 5-second telephone conversation between Godfrey Dame and Richard Japa, the third accused person, held on the morning meaning 12 minutes after 7 a.m. of 9th April 2024, a day that the third accused, Richard Japa, was preparing to go to court to continue his testimony. In this recording, which I will play shortly, which we will play to your hearing and share with you shortly, Godfrey Dame, the Attorney General, is clearly heard doing the following. I want to prepare your mind so that when you are listening to that, you can understand what it is. In this recording, if you pay attention, you see that Godfrey Dame is heard impressing upon Richard Japa, the third accused, to skew his answers and testimony to support the petition's case. The prosecution's case, I beg your pardon. This was despite Mr. Japa's insistence that the line the Attorney General wanted him to toe was dishonest, untenable, and that his conscience could not allow him to do so. The now dishonorable Attorney General then dangled the assurance that Richard Japa's acceptance to testify the Attorney General's way was not going to get him into any difficulty. Tell a lie and we will set you free. That was the agenda. If you tell a lie and we nail our enemy, not the state's enemy, but our enemy, we will set you free. And he says, no, my conscience doesn't allow me to do that. Conspiracy against an accused person. In the recording under reference, Richard Jakpa reveals that Godfrey Dame had met him on several occasions at the residence of a Supreme Court judge, sitting Supreme Court judge, to impress upon him to testify in a manner that the prosecution wants in order to fix and wrongly jail the minority leader, Dr. Tufosin. Godfrey Dame did not refuse this statement by Richard Jakpa, except to caution him that they were speaking on phone and that he was not sure if anyone was recording their conversation. It's all contained in that tape. Also, Godfrey Dame is heard in the recording urging and coaching Richard Jakpa, albeit with strong protest from Mr. Jakpa, to provide answers that Jakpa knows to be false to the court. There is the issue of the professional misconduct too. The audio recording provides incontrovertible evidence of professional misconduct on the part of Godfrey Dame as a lawyer and a prosecutor. By talking to a represented person in an ongoing trial on the blind side of the represented person's lawyer and urging the represented person to testify in a manner that aids the prosecution's case, Godfrey Dame violently violated the legal Professional Code of Ethics Rule 2020, LI 2423, in many ways. I'm not a lawyer, but this was passed in Parliament. I'm a parliamentarian. This gross professional misconduct on the part of no less a person than the Attorney General, who was the leader of the bar, bears a high responsibility to adhere to the rules of ethics of the legal profession, is reprehensible and totally unpardonable. The next one has to do with the fabrication of evidence to pervert the course of justice. Minister of Justice fabricating evidence to pervert the course of justice. It is instructive to note that in the audio recording, Godfrey Dame is heard persuading Mr. Jakpa not to end his testimony by a particular time to allow him to travel, to allow Godfrey Dame to travel. The dishonorable Attorney General is also heard persuading Mr. Jakpa to procure and submit a fake medical excuse duty to the court, which he was scheduled to testify before that morning. Attorney General and Minister of Justice. This was to enable Godfrey Dame travel abroad without missing Jakpa's testimony. Attorney General, you are asking somebody who is before court for what you claim to be one crime, to go and commit another one, to come and deceive the court. By asking a witness to fabricate evidence to deceive a court, Godfrey Odame, the Attorney General, sought to undermine the judicial and justice administration process in this country. This conduct of Godfrey Odame constitutes the offense of perjury, which is a crime punishable under the laws of Ghana, specifically section 213 and 214 of the Criminal and Other Offences Act 1960, Act 29. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, I would at this stage invite you. You have been salivating for some time now, but I want to invite you to the content of this recording, after which I'll make some important observations. Let me allow you.
You pay only after the goods have been delivered, because that is also the contract, not so.
Yes, but then the financial instrument for the project is an irrevocable letter of credit. So that credit letter has already been sent.
Hold on, no problem. But in my view, that letter of credit area, the contract requires that you pay by letters of credit, not so.
Yes, in addition, we should establish it upon the sign of the contract. So already you have paid.
Upon the sign of the contract for every 50 ambulance.
Yes. Upon the signing of the contract for every 50 ambulance, since there was no advance mobilization, advance payment, that LC was a security that you have to establish ahead.
No problem. It's on the contract for every 50 ambulance. Is it the contract for every 50 ambulance?
Pardon?
Is it the contract for? I'm saying upon the sign of the contract for every 50 ambulance.
Yes.
Is it the contract for every 50 ambulance?
The contract is for 200 ambulances in tranches of 50.
Good. Hold on. So that contract for 50 ambulance is different from this one?
No. It is, the contract is one contract for 200 ambulances, which has been broken down within the contract for every you establish LC for every 50 tranche. So you have 4 LCs for the 200 ambulances.
No, that part I disagree with you. But if you look at the terms of the contract, it's quite clear. And it should not be difficult for you to accept, because really it doesn't put you in any problem at all. That does not put you into any difficulty. I don't know the Minister of Health, the Minister of Finance. So for me, if you accept that, then it doesn't put you in any difficulty.
The problem I have in accepting that for you is that in there are letters that confirm that both from.
You see, the witness is telling you what the situation is, what the true facts are, and you say he should testify in a certain particular way, and that it won't create any difficulty for him. He will go free and somebody else will be jailed for dishonesty. And the witness keeps insisting that it is against his conscience, he cannot do what you want done. Continue. Continue.
Government and from a principal. That is for every 50 ambulances. That confirms that. And I'll be sending those letters in. So I cannot go against what the letters say and the contract say, because I was the agent at that time. Japan Business was the agent.
Hold on. LC's on site. Payment shall be in euros. First, if we said there shall be no advance payment.
Yes.
What does advance payment mean?
What it means is that you are not the supplier was not going to be paid any cash, any money for him to use in procuring all the accessories and everything to manufacture. So the manufacturer will use his own money to buy the ambulance vans, all the accessories from across the globe, with the security from government being the LC. And the LC has conditions precedent.
Hold on. Bridget, yes, advance payment not mean paying in advance of the delivery of the goods.
They said no advance payment.
Yes, advance payment means that you are paying before the goods are delivered to you.
No, they said no advance payment. Not that there's advance payment. Yes. No advance. Mean that you will not pay.
Yes, until the goods are delivered to you. Also.
Yes.
So until the goods are delivered, you don't pay at all.
You don't pay.
Also. So, and then also it goes ahead to say that payment shall be in a free manner. Else it's on site of goods. In fact, what is even LC on site of goods? What does it mean?
What LC on site of goods means is that when you ship the documents, when you ship the goods, when you ship the goods from your port of origin, the bill of lading of the goods is what you use as
LC on site of goods means when the goods have been shipped.
They have been shipped.
And then the goods have been delivered in Ghana.
No, when the goods have been shipped, because you have gone to do principal. So what I'm trying to explain is that you use the bill of lading. You use the bill of lading. You use the bill of lading.
You establish the LCs after.
Pause. You see the problem of Godfrey Dame. He doesn't understand anything about these international payments at all. And he wants the witness to accept his ignorance and then go to court to make a statement that will expose the witness as also as ignorant as Godfrey Dame. Because you see, what you call a letter of credit is just some guarantee. You sign an agreement with somebody that I'll supply these ambulances. But the person must also be secure that when he supplies the ambulances, there will be payment. So you sign a document that, look, the moment you are able to buy your equipment yourself and you ship them and you bring the bill of lading to me for me to satisfy myself that the equipment has been shipped and that this is the evidence that I will be receiving them on this date, then I can also authorize the bank to pay you what has been agreed upon, because you can't go to the sea and reclaim the things back. You see, so that's all. So a letter of credit does not give you money until I eventually tell them to pay because I have received the items. So you are saying that somebody signed a letter of credit and so the nation has lost money. And your government took over. If you realize that the things have not been received, why would you authorize payment? So this is simple, but the problem the problem is ignorance. Okay, go ahead. Continue.
Supplement inspection. No dispute about that.
No, the LC is established as soon as you sign the contract. You establish the LC, and that becomes the security comfort for the supplier to invest money.
It says LCs on site of goods shall be signed upon the signing of the contract.
Yes.
For every 50 ambulances.
Yes.
Yes. Which contract is this? It's not a contract for every 50 ambulances. So under this main contract, this was like the main contract.
The main contract and LC for every 50 of the 200. So the contract is not saying that government should establish one LC which is 15.8 million euros for the whole 200 at a go. No. Government has a bulk contract of 15.8 million euros. Now, this contract will become, the ambulance will become in tranches of 50 ambulances. So you establish your LC for the 50. When that 50 have been delivered and everything sorted out and handed over, another LC is established for another subsequent 50 until you finish all the 200. That is what the contract says. So the LC that was established.
Even then, hold on. I don't agree with your explanation. But even then, this explanation, that's not what happened in this case.
Okay, what happened?
Yeah, that's not what happened. Yes, because the LC was established even before pre-shipment inspection.
Yes.
Also,
yes.
There was no pre-shipment inspection. So,
yeah.
So it means there was no basis for the LC to be established in the first place.
No.
That's really not your problem anyway.
Right, that place,
yeah.
in that particular place, you are getting it wrong. If you may have patience for me to explain.
No.
You are getting it wrong there because when you establish LC, the LC had conditions precedent for it to be honored. And the condition precedent says that you can only cash the LC when you present shipping documents, which is bill of lading, to the Ghana International Bank of the buyer before the LC can be honored. So even though the LC was established upon the signing of the contract, was supposed to be established upon the signing of the contract, it cannot be cashed or honored. It becomes a form of security for the supplier to invest his own money. And when he ships the ambulances, he can then send a bill of lading to your bankers to then honor the LC, because that is a condition precedent.
But in any case, in this case, even the LC was actually cashed. Everything that payment was actually made before the goods were shipped.
No,
the goods got together.
No.
Oh, yeah.
He couldn't have the supply. There is no way under the sun he could have cashed the LC before the shipping document, which were condition precedent, was presented to Ghana International Bank. Even when he presented the documents to Ghana International Bank refused to honor the LC, raising issues of discrepancy, which came back to Bank of Ghana, which later went to the Ministry of Health, and then Animana authorized Bank of Ghana through Ministry of Finance to pay because they had sorted out the discrepancy to Big C. That time, around this time, the ambulances had already arrived in Ghana. You are not privy to this one, I'm telling you.
In my view, if we agree to this theory, it's so simple. The theory of the case.
Not agree to the way you want to go. The way you want to go about it.
If you agree to this deal, where the witness agrees with Godfred Odame the way he wants to go about the case, then the witness will have no case. There will be no difficulty for him. So listen to that part there.
Try not to say it because I want to help the AG make his case. And I ask myself, what is my interest in it?
I'm not asking you to really help me. I'm just going by it. Anyway, so that's fine. So this one was even just by the way.
I hope you get my difficulty. It's because I'm innocent and I'm going through ordeal. So I'm looking at another person also going to go through ordeal and through me because I know the truth and I decide not to say it. About question sentence. If I go by that way, frankly speaking, I'll be dishonest. Because I know that is not how it's supposed to be about it and how you want me to go about my answering question sentence. That time, around this time, the ambulances had already arrived in Ghana. You are not privy to this one, I'm telling you.
In my view, if we agree to this theory, it's so simple. The theory of the case.
Not agree to the way you want to go. The way you want to go about it.
Let's describe it that way. Let's describe it that way. I want to go about it.
Okay,
say it this way. For me, it makes it simple.
Yes, it will make it.
It doesn't involve any difficulty for you.
Yes, I agree. I understand your point.
When there's no advancement. Yes, when you say there's no advancement, ordinarily meaning in Ghana that you don't pay until you get your goods. Now, the contract here, even the clear terms, unless maybe you guys did not draft the contract, it says everything on site of goods shall be established upon the signing of the contract for every future.
No, the contract was drafted by government. It was done by government.
Oh, yes.
And it was an LG department peruse the contract and approve the contract for government.
It is not a problem. We have the approval. Every contract is actually approved. Before later when they are implementing it, then problems.
You see, what the difficulty I have with your position is that, you see, frankly speaking, fine, as you are saying, if I agree to your position, how you want to go about it and how you want me to go about my answering questions and things, if I go by that way, frankly speaking, I'll be dishonest because I know that is not how it's supposed to be.
You heard him. This is the facts, but you want me to go about it your way. And I feel that if I go about it your way, I'll be dishonest.
So they should continue.
Continue.
Question sentence. If I go by that way, frankly speaking, I'll be dishonest. Because I know that is not how it's supposed to be. And I'll be dishonest, and I'll be dishonest in such a way that I'll be assisting for someone I know is completely innocent about this. For example, Atu Forsen, to be jailed because I knew something was wrong, was not the way, and I decided to keep quiet and to answer the question in a way that will make your case better for you to jail him. I'll be battling with my conscience. That is the problem I'm having. Anytime you bring up this issue with Yonikulende, when Yonikulende's place, anytime you bring this issue, that is my problem I'm having. Because me, for example, that is the problem I'm having. Anytime you bring up this issue, me to go about my answering questions and things. If I go by that way, frankly speaking, I'll be dishonest. Because I know that is not how it's supposed to be. And I'll be dishonest, and I'll be dishonest in such a way that I'll be assisting for someone I know is completely innocent about this. For example, Atu Forsen, to be jailed because I knew something was wrong, was not the way, and I decided to keep quiet and to answer the question in a way that will make your case better for you to jail him. I'll be battling with my conscience. That is the problem I'm having. Anytime you bring up this issue with Yonikulende, when Yonikulende's place, anytime you bring this issue, that is my problem I'm having. Because me, for example, I am in this case because I'm innocent and I'm going through ordeal. So I'm looking at another person also going to go through ordeal and through me because I know the truth and I decide not to say it because I want to help the AG make his case. And I ask myself, what is my interest in it?
I'm not asking you to really help me. I'm just going by it. Anyway, so that's fine. So this one was even just by the way.
I hope you get my difficulty.
It's on the phone. I don't even know that.
Oh no. No, don't worry about that one. My issue I'm just. Oh no. You and I will be meeting.
Please. Order. Please, let's listen to the tape, please. I beg you.
My issue I'm just. Oh no. You and I will be meeting. You will be meeting me at my cousin's place, and you've been bringing this issue up several times. And I keep telling you that I can't do that because it doesn't sit well with me.
This is the man who says he has never met the witness. Continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for every. So when you see the hand for every 50 ambulance, means that it's not only 50.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
For every, it means that it is not only 50.
All right.
Means that there are a lot of 50s that will be following. So that is what I was trying to explain to you. So frankly speaking, the LC that was established was as a security for the supplier to invest his own money since there's no advantage.
Yes, it is the same that was used to pay. Because LC was the means of payment and the agreement.
Yes. When the conditions precedents are met.
Which is what? Very good at that have some documents.
That he has the bill of ladings, the ambulance have been shipped and the bill of ladings are presented. That is when you can catch the LC. So until you ship the ambulances, you can't catch the ambulance, you can't catch the LC.
What's that? And it was done in this case also.
Yes, in this case, yes. When he shipped the ambulances, he then presented their documents to Ghana International Bank, and then Ghana International Bank refused to honor the LC and raised issues of discrepancies, which was later cleared by Animana at the Ministry of Health for payment to proceed. And that is how he was paid.
Yes.
So, frankly speaking, if there's somebody who authorized this payment to go on, even though in Ghana International Bank raised issues of discrepancies, it's Animana. He was authorizing those payments.
But you quote when you heard the Bank of Ghana officials and the Minister of officials and even Setepe say that no payment can go on except with Minister of Finance authorization. There's no way Minister of Health will authorize. In fact, Minister of Health actually in their letter they said no, they should go ahead and produce ambulances.
No, after that letter that said IT wrote that they should suspend production, those things was contrary to the terms of the contract, and that letter went to your office, the AG's office, and the AG debunked that letter and wrote his legal opinion and told her that they should proceed. So AG, that letter had been destroyed by your department, by your ministry. So that letter is of no value. It is the AG's legal opinion that overrode that letter, and finance had to implement the AG's opinion.
Yeah, and by the AG's legal opinion, the terms of contract were honored.
Yes.
Or the terms of contract were breached.
And because they were already breached, and the AG wanted them to honor it. So that Shadaites letter that you want to rely on is of no value.
Honor it. Honor the terms of contract.
The ministry. Yeah, they still didn't honor some part of the contract. They honored the LC part, but when it came to a pre-shipment inspection, they refused to honor that particular part.
Okay.
So they waived their right to go and inspect, and then they turn around and blame people for you not going to inspect to rectify any manufacturing defect that the pre-shipment inspection was meant to cure. So Shadaites, through her negligence and refusal to implement the pre-shipment inspection, created this problem. That's what I was trying to head.
So the reason for that is that's my timetable for the rest of the
that means that you are not going to be around.
So and then even next week, the whole of next week I'll not be around. If there's a way of even not even finishing next week, I would appreciate.
Oh no, okay, no, I'll not finish next week. I don't think I'll be able to finish because the documents are many. So you surely go and come and meet me.
Oh, no,
but that will also depend upon the judge's behavior.
I'll bring one medical experience next week.
Okay. Okay, fine. If you bring a medical excuse next week.
I think you. Can I bring a medical excuse?
No, you are saying that I should bring a medical excuse next week.
You can if you want.
But brother, you want this woman to issue bench warrant for me again?
Anyway.
You see, Attorney General asking the witness who is fit, who is not sick, to produce medical excuse duty to go and mislead the court. You see where we are now. Minister of Justice asking somebody who is not sick to go and forge a medical excuse duty to go and mislead the court. Please continue. Tape. Gramophone. Continue. You haven't. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, I don't know whether I should continue talking again. The recording you just heard is one that is worrying, and all Ghanaians must be concerned about it. This is a scandal of unimaginable proportions that seriously exposes the criminal mindedness and lack of integrity of the Attorney General, my brother Godfrey. Oh, if I have a criminal brother, it doesn't mean I'm a criminal. It also highlights the dishonesty of the prosecution in the ambulance trial and the desperate lengths they are prepared to go to secure wrongful conviction against Honorable Ato Forsen at all costs. Clearly, Mr. Dame, who as Attorney General ought to know better, was doing everything he could, including criminal acts, to defeat the long-cherished legal principle that it is better to set 1,000 guilty people free than to convict one innocent person. Again, this recording confirms our long-held position on Godfrey Dame's notoriety for judicial manipulations against opponents of the Akufo-Addo regime. After many years of getting away with his shady, crooked and underhand dealings, Godfrey Dame's cup has become full, and his day of reckoning has finally arrived. Today, Godfrey Dame stands exposed as an unethical, scheming and devious Attorney General who will go to whatever lengths, including engaging in criminality, to unjustly silence, persecute and imprison critics of his government. Dame is clearly a devious character, bereft of integrity, honor, and unfit to occupy the high and hallowed public office of Attorney General. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, why should we be concerned about this tape recording at all? As I have already intimated, this tape recording captures professional misconduct, unethical behavior, and criminal conduct on the part of no less a person than the Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana, Godfrey Dame. This conduct of Attorney General Godfrey Dame offends Rule 13, 40, and 54 of the Legal Professional Conduct and Etiquette Rules, quote unquote, LI 2324. I'm not a lawyer, but all these things were passed through Parliament. So if I'm quoting them, I'm not talking court matter, I'm talking about the laws we pass, in Parliament. Rule 13 of LI 2324, which is on communication with represented party. Communications with represented party. If there's a court case and somebody is represented by a lawyer, if another party is talking to that person, he must talk to him in the presence of his lawyer or through his lawyer. The law we pass, is that not what they mean? Or with his consent. And it states, quote, a lawyer shall not approach, communicate, or deal with a represented person on a matter or attempt to negotiate or compromise a matter directly with a represented person except through or with the consent of the lawyer of that represented person. Black and white, that is the law. At the time that Mr. Godfrey Dame was calling and meeting Richard Japa at odd hours to urge, goad, impress upon and coach him to testify the Attorney General's way, Mr. Japa was represented by a lawyer. They claim that the Attorney General has been engaging the third accused directly because he has been changing lawyers frequently is totally false. For instance, at the time Godfrey Dame engaged the third accused, Richard Japa, in the phone call conversation that we just played to you on 9th April 2024, the third accused was represented by the distinguished lawyer Thaddeus Sorry. It is clear from the tape recording that Godfrey Dame was communicating with the third accused, Richard Japa, on the blind side of his lawyer as well as the court, and he was attempting to compromise Japa in order to wrongfully convict Dr. Atufosin. This is a cardinal sin against the legal profession. Quote, Professional Conduct and Etiquette Rules. That is contained in LI 2324. Again, Rule 41 of LI, the same LI 2324, which highlights special responsibilities of a prosecutor, states, quote, where a lawyer acts as a prosecutor, in this case where Godfrey Dame acts as a prosecutor, the lawyer shall act resolutely and honorably within the limits of the law, and shall treat the court or tribunal with candor, fairness, courtesy, and respect. Unquote. It is clear from this tape that Godfrey Dame's conduct violates Rule 41 of LI 2023. He consciously, deliberately, and knowingly did not act resolutely nor honorably. Neither did Dame treat the court with candor, fairness, and respect that all lawyers, and in this particular case, prosecutors, are required by law to do. The standard of integrity of evidence is also provided for by Rule 54 of LI 2324, and it states, I beg to quote, Rule 54(1), a lawyer shall not advise or suggest to a witness to give false evidence. So a lawyer shall not advise a healthy person to procure excuse duty from fraudulently to come and mislead the court. 2, a lawyer shall not suggest A or B, condone a client or another person suggesting to a prospective witness the content of any particular evidence which the witness should give at any stage in a proceeding. You heard him suggesting to the witness how he should talk, how he should answer questions so they can jail Atufosin and he will be free. This is the duty placed by law on all lawyers, including the Attorney General. Godfrey Dame, by his conduct, which are captured on this tape, clearly violates this duty and places this duty placed on him as a lawyer. Again, Godfrey Dame's conduct violates Section 315 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29, which is on fabrication of evidence, and states as follows: whoever fabricates evidence with the intent to defeat, obstruct, or pervert the course of justice in any proceeding shall be liable to the same penalties as if he had committed perjury in that proceedings. It is clear from the tape recording that Mr. Dame was urging, goading, and encouraging the third accused to fabricate evidence in the form of a fake medical excuse duty to deceive the trial court. Ladies and gentlemen, we now get to false entrapment excuse that Godfrey Dami seems to be relying on. We note that following Mr. Richard Jakpa's explosive testimony last Thursday and the widespread controversy it has generated, Godfrey Dami has resorted to peddling more lies in an attempt to escape accountability. The thing about lies is that when you tell one, every lie you tell, you need 10 more lies to defend. So it grows exponentially. First, the Attorney General publicly stated at paragraph 2 of his press release of 23rd May 2024 that, quote, "The Republic has never required or desired the cooperation of any of the accused persons in the matter in which it has already succeeded in establishing a prima facie case against all the accused persons. Neither the Attorney General nor any officer from the Office of the Attorney General has approached any of the accused persons with a view to obtaining evidence from them." Have you heard it? In spite of all this that he has said, he has cleaned the mouth and is telling the public that he has never engaged anybody on this matter at all. It is glaringly clear from the tape recording you just listened to that this claim is a barefaced lie peddled by the dishonorable Attorney General and his office to deceive the public. In sharp contrast to this, to his earlier claim that he has never met any of the accused persons, the Attorney General now claims that he has actually contacted and met the third accused, Richard Jakpa, but that he met him only once at the residence of a Supreme Court judge, and that this meeting was not at his behest, but rather at the behest of a sitting Supreme Court judge who entrapped him. He now wants to extend the lie to a Supreme Court judge. Ladies and gentlemen, all these claims by the Attorney General through his spokesperson are lies, and we have evidence to prove so. In addition to the voice recordings, we have other evidence by way of screenshots of chats on WhatsApp between Godfrey Dami and Mr. Jakpa, which further proved that the Attorney General contacted and represented a represented person without recourse to the represented person's lawyer. The charts further show that it was Godfrey Dami who chose to meet Richard Jakpa at the house of the Supreme Court judge, and not the Supreme Court judge who invited them.
So the first one is on the screen.
The first one.
The date, 16 February.
16 February 2022.
You know the mic. The mic.
16 February 2022. From Richard Jakpa. I am humbly requesting for a time and venue at your convenience to meet you for a private discussion, please. Then I'm most grateful for that kind gesture from you. Then hope to hear favorably from you.
Next.
This is all from Richard Jakpa. Then you come down here. Okay. That is from Godfrey Dami. I will arrange through your brother. Thanks. That brother is the Supreme Court judge. So Godfrey Dami says he will arrange through the Supreme Court judge for them to meet. So the Supreme Court judge has not requested for any meeting in his house. It's Godfrey Dami who arranged the meeting. Then he said, okay.
Yeah. So no, hold on.
Yeah.
Go back. So as you read.
The chart show it was Godfrey Dame who chose to meet Richard Japa at the house of the Supreme Court judge. As you can see from this screen, this is a WhatsApp chat dated 16 February 2022, which Godfrey Dame undertakes to arrange a meeting with Mr. Japa through his brother, actually his cousin, the Supreme Court judge, through a WhatsApp message sent at 7:32 p.m. This evidence totally belies Dame's contrived and gross claim that he was entrapped. So he was not entrapped. He planned to use the Supreme Court judge to call the witness for whatever they wanted to set up. The next set of WhatsApp chats, WhatsApp exhibits 2, 3, and 4, dated 17th July 2022, shows Godfrey Dame receiving certain soft copies of documents from Mr. Richard Japa to facilitate his prosecution of the minority leader at 11:29 p.m. close to midnight. So if you hear Richard Japa saying odd and unholy hours and times, this is what he was referring to. This was immediately after the Attorney General had met Mr. Japa at the residence of the Supreme Court judge at the instance of the Attorney General. So these are documents which the Japa forwarded to Godfrey Dame after that meeting. I want to jail somebody, I don't have the documents, can you help me? If you help me, I will free you, then we can use the document. And you got all these documents, and still the document could not incriminate anybody, and now you want him to lie on top of the documents. So these are documents. And in the next WhatsApp chat, WhatsApp exhibit 5, dated 23rd November 2023, Godfrey Dame is seen to have placed a call at 10:40 a.m. to Richard Japa and followed it with a message at 10:49, acknowledging a message sent to him by Mr. Japa that the case had been adjourned to Thursday the following week. Bro, the case is adjourned to next week Thursday. The man is still on admission fighting for his dear life. Then Godfrey Dame, okay, thanks. The final WhatsApp chat, WhatsApp exhibit 6, dated Tuesday 9th April 2024, shows evidence of a 26-minute phone call placed to Richard Japa by Godfrey Dame at 7:12 a.m. The morning of the day Japa was scheduled to testify in the court. The recorded one we played for you. It was the morning Japa was going to court to testify. And he was saying that today if you go, tell them this. Letters of credit means cash payment. Letters of this means this. So go and tell them. But we don't have our own finance system in Ghana, which is different from the finance system everybody knows all over the world. How can you say that letters of credit is just cash payment? Somebody has taken the money without delivery of goods. And he was pushing him. And the man says, I have my conscience. I can't do it because I am being prosecuted from lies somebody has told about me. So why do you want me to lie for another person to also prosecute when I'm feeling the pinch of how lies can be used to create a problem for you? So I'm not going to do it. You see, it is this telephone conversation that we have played to you, and it was in this conversation that Godfrey Dame, among others, asked Jakpa to fabricate a fake medical excuse duty to deceive the trial court. That's the claim by the dishonorable Attorney General Godfrey Dame, that he only met the person once, and that same was true entrapment by a Supreme Court judge is not only false but hogwash. You now agree? Ladies and gentlemen, following Mr. Jakpa's testimony in court, and now I'm going to talk about the contrived plea bargain which Godfrey Dame is using as a reason for the meeting and all that. The Attorney General has falsely claimed through his spokesperson and various assigns that his engagement with the third accused was for purposes of plea bargaining negotiations at the instance of the third accused. We want to state for the records that there has not been any plea bargain meetings between the Attorney General and the third throughout this trial. All the letters being circulated by the Attorney General in the media dated 27th April 2023, 16th May 2023, 30th May 2023, and 12th June 2023 were proposals for amicable settlement and plea from Deep Sea LLC and Mr. Jakpa. All these proposals were rejected by the Attorney General, whereupon the trial court decided to continue with the hearing and adjudication of this case. Since then, the court has not been informed of the commencement of any plea bargain negotiations as required by Section 162C, Sub 3 of Plea Bargaining Act 2022, Act 1079. For emphasis, aside the letter submitted by Mr. Jakpa to the Attorney General for settlement or plea bargaining, which proposals were all rejected by the Attorney General, there has not been any meeting between either Mr. Jakpa or his lawyers on the one hand and Attorney General or his assigns on the other hand. It is worthy of note that all those letters were signed by lawyers of Mr. Jakpa. This means that, assuming the Attorney General had accepted to engage the third accused in plea bargaining negotiations, same should have been done with the lawyers of the third accused as required by Section 162A.3 of Plea Bargaining Act 2022, Act 1079. More importantly, the evidence of clandestine communication and meetings between Attorney General and third accused, which we have shown you, dates back as far as 16th February 2022, 17th July 2022, when no settlement or plea bargaining proposals have even been made by Big C and Mr. Jakpa. All these communications, telephone calls, WhatsApp chats and all that, they all happened in 2022. And you are flaunting letters you claim were issued in 2023. That's the reason why you were calling. So, it is neither here nor there. We have also played to you a recording of a phone call conversation held between the Attorney General and Mr. Jakpa as recently as 9th April 2024, a day Mr. Jakpa was scheduled to testify in court. It is evidently clear from the foregoing facts that the plea bargaining excuse being mounted by the Attorney General and his assigns are palpable lies calculated to divert attention from the critical issues at stake. The question every well-meaning Ghanaian should be asking is, why the Attorney General will refuse a proposal to settle this case, which will ensure the payment of 2 million euros to the state at a time our country is faced with economic bankruptcy. There was no wrongdoing on the part of anybody. Then somebody says he's sensitive about his company's reputation and so on, so he's prepared to pay 2 million euros to Ghana. I'm saying no. If I take it, Atufosi will not go to jail. So let that 2 million go waste, and I find way of contriving evidence to get Atufosi nailed. These are the statesmen we have. Ladies and gentlemen, considering the scandalous nature of this recording and other forms of evidence we have shown you, we wish to make the following pressing demands as part of efforts to restore credibility to the Attorney General's office and Ghana's judicial system as a whole. 1. The immediate and unconditional resignation or dismissal of Godfrey Dame for bringing the high office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice into disrepute and public opprobrium. Clearly, Mr. Dame is not fit to hold himself out as Attorney General and Minister of Justice. He is unfit to be the leader of the Ghana Bar. 2. The immediate prosecution of Godfrey Dame for multiple violations of the laws of Ghana. We wish to make it clear that should President Akufo-Addo refuse or fail to prosecute him, a future NDC government will prosecute Godfrey Dame for this heinous crime of fabrication of evidence. 3. Commencement of disciplinary proceedings by the General Legal Counsel against Godfrey Dame and his disbarment for conduct unbecoming of a lawyer, and more importantly, the leader of the Ghana Bar. 4. A publicly televised parliamentary inquiry into this and other reports of judicial manipulations by Godfrey Dame with a view to censor Godfrey Dame to prevent the recurrence of such judicial manipulations. In conclusion, friends from the media, it is clear from the incontrovertible evidence we have adduced today that the government has no evidence of wrongdoing against the minority leader, but is only involved in fabrications to persecute him as retribution for his strong opposition to the economic mismanagement and general misrule of the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government. These damning revelations call into question the integrity of the case of the prosecution in the ongoing ambulance trial and the necessity for same. Godfrey Dame has brought shame and disrepute to the honorable office of the Attorney General with his criminal, devious and vicious conduct. He is a danger to fairness and justice in our judicial system and represents the lowest point in the history of persons who have occupied the hallowed office of Attorney General and Minister of Justice. While we have pointed out many times that Godfrey Dame epitomizes all that is inherently wrong, investing both the office of the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice in the same person, we believe that he has recklessly abused both offices and his continuous stay in office is no longer tenable. The primary responsibility of the Attorney General is to be the voice of rule of law, ensure the impartial enforcement of law, and advise the President and government to take actions that conform to law. More importantly, an Attorney General must be a shining example and a leading light for the bar, not a criminal-minded, crooked, devious, and vicious person who is preoccupied with witch hunting and victimization, as has become the cup of tea of Honorable or Dishonorable Godfrey Dame. You can make your choice. Mr. Dame has demonstrated time without number that he cannot prioritize the national interest over his party's parochial and self-serving interests. He must therefore resign or be sacked by the President without delay.